Work After Work for having me. So let's go ahead and jump into this presentation. I've got quite a bit of material and we'll try to see how many things we can get through to today and as many videos as I can show you on YouTube in the presentation. So my speaking engagement is going to be related to how to get sales with YouTube ads and really the different types of ads that we've seen perform very well for our company and for other businesses, as well as how do we create ads that are going to encourage those leads to close to sales. So I thought I'd start the presentation with a YouTube video, funny enough. This is our company video. We have used this in YouTube advertising. And so let's go ahead and take a look at a real life example of a YouTube ad that has closed sales for us.
Hello, Benjamin Kepner of Global Social Media Marketing here. We are a marketing and education technology company that teaches the world how to connect with their communities in new ways. My story began after graduating from the University of Georgia. I traveled around the world growing GSMM and have planted the company roots in downtown Denver, Colorado. What sets us apart from other experts is our multilingual team with 20 digital marketing certifications whose primary services include social media marketing, education technology training, and international business expansion. We drive website traffic, purchases, and develop leads with things such as WordPress, SEO, Google and Facebook ads, as well as YouTube videos. We empower you to achieve your business or education goals and connect with your community from our experiences with Google for Education certified trainer presentations and our work with 20 industries across the globe. Explore new horizons and contact us today.
Right, so that's our company video. We have actually used that exact video that you just watched as a YouTube ad, and we started testing that video this past summer, right? So we did a kind of a 2-week trial period, and you can see that we spent just over $200 to get 14,000 people to watch that video in the countries that we targeted and 182 leads. I actually got so many leads in that 2-week period that my calendar was booked out for 2 weeks, and I had so many people trying to get in contact with me that I didn't even have time to really field all of those leads because there were so many for me to field, being a kind of a one-man sales guy doing all of that. So I think that video, you know, when you look at that video, it was a very well produced video. It's professionally made. It grabs your attention. It explains exactly what our company does, shows some kind of social proof of, you know, the experience that we have and what sets our company apart from maybe other solutions that you might be searching for. And you can kind of look at how this video resonated with the audience, right? We're getting a cost per view at a penny, and we're getting leads coming in the door for under $2. And again, we were targeting some countries outside the United States, but I wanted to show this to start the presentation to show you how powerful a 1-minute video can be and how quickly you can generate a lot of leads or lead to sales. And that video alone actually closed us 3 sales. So I'm very happy with the results of that video. So before we kind of dive into, you know, how are we going to make something like that to generate leads and sales for your business, I do want to mention to stick around for the entirety of the presentation. I know that they will be offering this as a replay, and we're going to be giving away our free YouTube marketing course if you book a strategy call with me. So I will be including that at the end of the presentation. And I just took a quick little screenshot here just to show you that this is a real course that's created. And it's got all of our training videos for everything that we've been doing on YouTube for the last 2 years. So I think that will really help a lot of people if you stick around and you get that offer. So YouTube, by the numbers in 2020, this guy over here in the hoodie with the glasses looking into the YouTube light, funny enough, that's me, if you can believe it. I think at the peak of my YouTube research when I kind of realized that, you know, YouTube is like the Matrix, right? I mean, you really have to kind of understand the complexities behind YouTube to really get results with it. But we can see why people are now seeing YouTube as this huge advertising opportunity out of the other channels that we already know have been around for a while. You know, over 5 billion in ad revenue just this year. So we know people are paying on YouTube billions, 5 billion to be exactly, videos watched daily in 2020. Average person on YouTube too, interesting fact there, they're watching on average 40 minutes. So, you know, for anybody that's running video campaigns on other channels, I would challenge you and say, how long are those people watching your videos? Are they watching at 30 seconds to a minute? That's a really hard sale for you to be able to build a relationship and communicate what's different about your product or service to be able to sell. So having 40 minutes to do that on YouTube is really nice. And then obviously, from the users that are there, right, 2 billion that are logged in monthly, meaning that they actually have a YouTube account, and they are, avid users of using the platform. So I don't think there's a question of, is YouTube a good opportunity for you? These numbers are in the billions, and people are spending a lot of time watching videos, especially in 2020, when video now is really one of the best storytelling platforms, and people have more time to watch videos at home. So, who's this Benjamin Kepner guy? I mean, hopefully you've seen me at some point with Network After Work, right? I showed you kind of my company video, but I also wanted to give some shout outs to really the true YouTube ad gurus that I've seen after kind of studying things this year. So shout out to Tom Breeze, Larry Heck, and John Petherberry. I've consumed all of their content this year, from their courses to their books to their webinars. So, I always kind of look for me to show people, the reason I know YouTube so well is because of, these three men have really kind of been the innovators and set the foundation. I want to give a shout out to them, that I will be including some of their ideas or concepts in this presentation. So actually, to kind of transition that in, right, some of these images are actually were taught to me by Tom Breeze in his course, and kind of conceptually at a big picture understanding, what does YouTube do? Why do people go on YouTube psychologically, and what are they doing on the platform? So people on YouTube are normally looking for solutions to their problems by searching first how to do something, typing in a specific keyword, or watching a potential competitor or brand's videos to be entertained in these micro moments. And so we kind of have these 4 different main micro moments somebody goes to YouTube for. We've got the I want to watch moment, right? Like I want to watch the NBA finals, for example, that are being aired now on YouTube. Or I want to know. I want to know more about YouTube ads. So I'm going to maybe go into YouTube and type in YouTube's. I want to do moments, right? Those are the moments of, I want to learn how to fix my laundry machine, for example, right? We know a lot of home improvement, maintenance of the home, those types of tasks. There are tons of tutorial videos and how-to videos on how to do that. Also, want to do could be kind of bucketed into, I want to listen to music, right? So a lot of people now are listening to music on YouTube, and seeing a lot of their live musical performances from their favorite artists on there, and kind of listening to YouTube in the background as they're working. And then I want to buy moments, right? So actually buying a product, e-commerce transactions, or potentially buying a course or a consultant or coaching service that might be able to help them in whatever that moment is. So I just want you to kind of take away from this slide that micro moments mean that, every day people have things that happen in their lives, and in that moment have a specific problem that they're trying to solve. And YouTube now is the #2 search engine in the world, only behind Google, and Google owns YouTube. So really those 2 platforms in many ways are very similar for providing solutions to people who are searching for how to solve their problems in those micro moments. So why should you create a YouTube ads funnel? This is a proven sales funnel that I've been doing for most of this year, and it's worked very well. It's a very simple type of funnel process. I'm going to show you some other examples of some different ideas, but just for a basic sales funnel process, I would say if you're able to take that leap of faith to go to YouTube in 2020 or for next year, you are going to automate the ability for you to get book sales call appointments, right? So simple YouTube ad video that's driving people to a landing page, whether it's on your website or through a software tool to create a landing page. And then a very simple form. Normally with forms, we try to keep them pretty basic, right? 5 to 6 types of fields, things like first name, last name, email, potentially your company, and then if you have any qualifying things, right? So like if you were a life insurance agent, for example, you might be asking them about, does anybody in your family have a history of diabetes, or do you smoke cigarettes, or something like that, right? And then taking them to a scheduler, right? We can actually, people that I've kind of found funny enough in 2020 is They don't normally just go to a website now and call people. It's all about kind of setting schedules, and kind of filling out forms, and kind of having that confirmation before you just call someone, catch them off guard, or maybe not being able to reach them, right? It's kind of having that accountability. Hey, I've booked a call in your calendar. I got the confirmation on my end. That really kind of also excites them, because now they're looking forward to that call instead of maybe being able to reach you right away. And then finally, a confirmation page, where that's just letting them know that they have claimed whatever your product or service offer is in order for that call. And then you can kind of move them into that sales process. And we know, or at least I know from my sales experience, right, a lot of business deals today are still done via phone and email, especially if you're trying to make a sale. It's really a good idea to leverage any ad campaigns to drive phone calls. If you can kind of move those people into a phone call situation, and then hopefully guide them through those objections to becoming a customer. We do recommend that you spend at least $500 to $1,500 in YouTube ads. Average small business owner right now is roughly spending just a little over $300 a month in the United States. So that gives you a benchmark of what the average is doing. But doing YouTube ads all year, I can tell you really you want to be at about 500 to start, and then you can kind of scale up from there based upon your results. So that would kind of give you an idea for how much you're going to need to budget for your YouTube ads on a monthly basis. So steps to building this YouTube ads funnel, right? If you have seen any of my other presentations, potentially, you may have seen this very kind of similar approach related to Facebook ads funnel. So conceptually, the funnel framework is going to be very similar for most ad platforms, but there's some kind of nuances to YouTube, right? Because we're doing a lot of video creation. And as I mentioned to you, we are trying to touch those micro moments of customers searching for your product or service in that moment. So with YouTube ads, really what we need to do first is we need to make sure that we have a Google Ads account, and that we have integrated it and set it up correctly with Google Analytics and with YouTube. And then from there, we want to do an initial keyword research plan, or keyword planner analysis. And I see a lot of people that are currently YouTube ads completely miss this step. And this is really important, because really what the Google keyword planner analysis does is it tells you exactly in the Google Ads platform how many people are searching for a given keyword, how much is it going to cost you to rank at the top of search results for your YouTube ads to actually be seen for that given keyword, and how competitive is that keyword. And I'll show you an example of one that we did for that first video ad that I opened up the presentation on, of exactly what that looks like. Then it goes into, after you've got your account set up and doing your keyword research, what people are actually searching for related to your product or services, is to create the script. And that's why I do the search first, because you could write what you think is a good explanation of your business or service or product, but you should really be using the language that your customers are searching in. So that's why it's a good idea to do the keyword research first, and then include that information in your script and let that guide kind of that customer experience or that customer journey in your video that you're going to be watching. Then you need to collect the video footage, obviously, so you can shoot the video footage in a number of different ways. I'll give you some examples of that here in a second. Then you're going to need to take that footage, and you can upload it raw as is. You don't have to have a professional video editor, but we do find that results tend to improve better if you do have some basic editing things with such as strong call to actions or some minor transitions. Maybe you add in a couple images to the video, right? And we don't go crazy either. We're not trying to be Hollywood here and take 3 to 6 months for a movie or a pilot to take off. We're generally making, as a company, Global Social Media Marketing, we're making a YouTube ad video in about a week to 2. And we're really only doing 1 or 2 revisions, and then it's good to go. So don't try to be perfect. Just try to get it done would be my advice. Test different ads, and then as time goes on, you can spend more time creating more professional type of videos. Creating a form or a cart checkout conversion page, I'll show you some examples of that. Then actually, once you have all that stuff in place, right, actually creating the ad campaigns in Google Ads. That's where you run all of your YouTube ad campaigns. And then from there, it's just optimizing, right? Making sure that you have maybe different value offers at different stages from where the consumer is in the buyer journey cycle, and testing out different audiences, right? Could be anything from the keyword research to maybe there's a specific audience that you're trying to reach, maybe people that are higher income, or real estate agents or financial advisors or tech savvy people. You can do all of that on YouTube from an audience targeting. And then finally, their placement audiences is your ability to place videos on other channels or videos. And we'll go over that as we move along too. So this is kind of the steps, the overarching, and kind of through the rest of the presentation now kind of show you that broken down. So number one is to install your Google Analytics. I've got it here stepped out for all these people out there that you're looking at this code and you're going, oh my gosh, Benjamin, I'm not a coder. I didn't go to school for computer science. Well, neither did I. It's not anything too crazy, guys. You just need to create a Google Analytics account. Once you get into that account, you will go to the tracking code that you will find under the admin tab of your Google Analytics. So this is like the home page. And then it will give you this tracking code. You need to have the tracking code on wherever you're going to be driving people from the YouTube ad that's created so that you're able to track the results of your efforts, right? Like how many people are visiting the landing page, for example, or how many people are converting into leads that are hitting the landing page. So that's why we want to have the tracking. Pretty simple. The steps here are not too difficult. And they actually even email you the steps too when you create a Google Analytics account. So that's first things first, right? You got to make sure you've got the analytics and tracking in place. Once the Google Analytics is set, then you want to integrate everything together, right? So now you've got your Google Analytics account. You have to have a Google Ads account in order to run the YouTube ads, right? And then you obviously need a YouTube channel because all of the videos that you run for YouTube ads requires you to actually have a YouTube channel where you have some videos uploaded, right? So these are the three platforms that you need to kind of essentially have in order to be able to run the ads, do all the tracking and analytics, and then make sure that all three of these systems are kind of integrated in talking to one another so that the analytics carry over between the three different platforms. So after all those are correctly linked, you're going to make sure that the tracking code, you're going to test that, right? You've already set it up, but you want to just double check that once you've integrated all these things, make sure it's all kind of showing up. Another thing that I've seen a lot of people do with YouTube is they normally start YouTube channels as a personal account. And you can definitely do that, but in order to run YouTube ads and be able to potentially allow other people to access your YouTube channel, you want to have a branded YouTube channel. So that's just going to your YouTube channel and just going into the settings and saying, hey, I want to make this a branded YouTube channel. Finally, from there, it's actually setting up your conversion actions in Google Ads. So when you go and you're creating the ads themselves in Google, you need to have conversion triggers so that when you're reporting leads, right? For example, a conversion action of a lead would be when somebody reaches that confirmation page, right? So they might go to the landing page and then fill out a form. And then once they have filled out that form, they are now being triggered as a conversion action of a lead. So these are kind of the initial setups that you need to do. And I've kind of broken this down as I can simply and conceptually for you to be able to do yourself. Now, the keyword planner analysis is something that's a little bit more difficult. And at Global Social Media Marketing, we actually have our own proprietary market research process that we do. So I'm not going to try to take this hour and teach you that process because that process in itself is longer than an hour. So that's our proprietary process. However, if you're just getting started, I would recommend using the keyword planner in taking, for example, 10 to 15 keywords that best describe your product or service and plugging those into Google Ads. What that's going to do is it's going to give you these three columns on the left: competition, low bid, and high bid. When I plug these keywords into Google Ads and the keyword planner, it's going to tell me, hey, Benjamin, there are, for the word social media plan, 14,800 people that are searching for that keyword monthly globally, and you can expect to pay as low as $1.50 a lead, and on the high end, $8.52, right? All of these other numbers here on the right-hand side, these were actually the results of that $200 campaign, right? Because you can see the 182 conversions down there and the 200 that we spent from the video that I showed you at the beginning of this presentation. But I wanted to show you what this means from a keyword process and kind of just looking at these numbers, right? So obviously some of these keywords, while we might be able to rank at the top of search results or they might be really cheap, they might not directly lead to sales. So things, for example, like social media marketing, right? That's a very broad type of keyword. Maybe a better use case for a company like us that's an actual social media agency that offers social media marketing services would be this. And you can kind of see that the amount there goes up, right? And then you can kind of see the cost per conversion there is a little bit higher than what social media marketing is. Actually, that's a good thing, meaning if you are paying more for conversions, in some cases, it's because those are higher quality leads, right? Maybe this is someone that's just searching for information like a college student, or maybe somebody like, that's in this network after work webinar where they're just trying to get some, basic knowledge, versus maybe somebody that's searching for a social media marketing agency is looking to buy services and, outsource that or work with us to be able to do that for them. So that's kind of just initial analysis of looking at this, right? And what I care most about with all YouTube ad campaigns, obviously, if I'm not going for views and subscribers, is leads. So the numbers that I focus on are also the amount of conversions and what it's costing me per conversion. Now, to kind of close this slide with, in that keyword planner analysis, I won't have any of this stuff right after monthly searches. But what I can get is I can get these things. So I can know how many people are searching for that keyword every month. I can know how much am I going to pay on the low or the high end. And then I can also know how competitive the keyword. What competition means in this case is if it's a low competition keyword, it means that there's not really a lot of advertisers that are paying for that keyword, mainly because that keyword is not correlating to sales or revenue transactions, thing that actually get bottom line results for businesses, right? So if we have a high competition on the other side of it, that means that there are a lot of advertisers paying for that keyword, and they're paying for that keyword because it's actually leading to sales. That's why people are paying more for that keyword. So you can kind of see in this example, right, all of these are medium. So maybe some of these are going to be good sales opportunities. Maybe some are not, but I might kind of take the next step there once I have some data and start looking at the conversions and the cost per conversion. And so you now probably understand, just looking at this slide a little bit better, why that keyword research is so important, because it's really going to set the foundation for me to understand, like, hey, if I'm writing a video script and I'm going to include, something about social media services near me, that's not really what people are searching for. I know that the marketplace, there's 200,000 people searching for social media marketing. So I want to have a video script or an ad that's appealing to that. And I also have a good understanding of how competitive it's going to be for me to rank. I might also take these keywords after that and go research some other videos on YouTube and just plug these into YouTube and see what other types of videos or ads might come up. So this is really important, guys. The keyword analysis will tell you what the marketplace is searching for and how competitive or how much it's going to cost you to advertise your ad for those keywords. So what are the two main different types of video ads that we're running in 2020 that we're getting results? Well, there's tons of different options that you can use on YouTube, but I want to keep it as simple as I can for today's presentation on really what we're doing at this stage is in-stream and discovery. In-stream ads are the ads that you would see on YouTube, right? This is an example of a screenshot. Monday.com has been in my YouTube feed all year. I think I see a Monday.com video every day of my life. And what they're doing is they're targeting me because I'm in the project management social media space, and they're throwing this video up on every video that I might potentially watch at the beginning of the video, in the middle of the video, or at the end of the video. That's why it's called in stream, because it's happening in the streaming of the video that you are going to watch. So if I type in, for example, social media, one of these first two videos, if I click on them, might actually trigger an ad when I start watching the video, and I might actually watch the ad before I even start watching the video that I've clicked on. A discovery ad, as you see on the right-hand side here, is these things at the top of search results. So if you're familiar with Google, right, when you're searching Google, you'll see this exact same type of thing, where you're seeing the Google search results at the top. It will say ad, and it's actually kind of showing you the paid ads at the top of search results before they actually show you the organic results. So these are two of the ads that we're getting the best traction. And I think the best way to differentiate these two is these people are more in the search discovery mode, and these people are searching, but they might click on a video or they may have watched another video in the past, and just think of it as YouTube is the modern day television, right? If I was able to, in the 90s, allow myself to run a commercial on a major news network during, let's say, for example, like a telenovela where I know there's a Hispanic audience, then I would maybe put my Mexican restaurant at that time for that episode. So same concept there with InStream is, can I put my video ad on channels or places where I know my audience is already well developed or hanging out, right? So those are the two basic types of ads we're getting really good results with this year. So this is kind of the structure that we go through when we're creating that YouTube ad, right? So before we kind of write the script, I always have my team kind of look at this. We kind of go into the video, number one, thinking what's the goal of the video and who is the audience? We kind of start there, and then we kind of use this structure. As I kind of mentioned with some of those other YouTube ad gurus, some of them are using this format. I've used some other kind of scripts and templates, but this is the one that we are getting the best results with. And so you can see the video kind of starts with like a big problem or hook. So something that kind of like, draws people in. Then it's kind of a big promise or an explain leading into a call to action. Call to action could be, contact us on our website, fill in a form, call us, whatever that might be. Then it kind of goes into more of that educational side of it, where you're kind of going further into how your product or service helps somebody or it solves their problems. And then kind of that last 90 seconds is more social proof, testimonials, another strong call to action, right? So you can kind of see, right, that this video format or this length is roughly around 3 minutes. We're kind of finding with YouTube ads, normally you don't want to have an ad normally under 1:30. That video I showed you at the beginning of the presentation was a minute video, so that actually did pretty well. But normally what we see is anywhere from 1:30 to about 3:30 is kind of a time frame for the length of your YouTube ad video. And I'll tell you why. The main reason for that is because, as I showed you at the beginning of the presentation, average person on YouTube watches a video for 40 minutes. If I watch a video for 15 seconds to 30 seconds, I'm not really engaged with your brand. I haven't really built a relationship with you. And if I have a person on the screen, like I showed myself as like the CEO of our company, you haven't really gotten a chance to know, what I do, who I am, learn more about me, really have any type of personal connection. So having a video that, could be 3 minutes long really allows you to kind of build that relationship, do storytelling, show multiple scenes, and, really kind of engage the user instead of just them seeing a video in 15 seconds and moving on to the next thing. Some kind of other interesting things that I have kind of explored from Tom Breeze this year is something he calls the schema violation, which is just to do something very unexpected at the beginning of the video. So like in that first 5 seconds, you're probably going to have at least 20 to 50% of people watching your video drop off in the first 5 seconds. And the reason for that is because they get bored. They see something in 5 to 10 seconds, their attention span goes, and they're like, okay, I don't want to watch this video, skip, next thing, or hey, thanks for being in my in-stream ad of the video I was trying to watch. I don't want to watch your ad. Let me just watch this video. So doing something expected, it grabs their attention. It keeps them past that 5-second mark. And then kind of this education. This is a model also from Tom Breeze of kind of using this, concept. I actually 2 years ago when I started in YouTube, or 3 years ago, I had, the concept of edutainment was kind of how I framed it. So the ability to take YouTube videos to not only educate, but to entertain. That's called edutainment. Tom calls it education, and kind of looking at what educating mean, right, is understanding what is the aim of the viewer that's watching it, what's the difficulty that the viewer is going through or the problem that they're experiencing, what does the viewer need to understand, right? I think a big thing that a lot of people don't realize about YouTube ads is you actually want to teach somebody, and that's something later down here, but in the video itself, you want the viewer to leave watching the video actually having learned something or understand something better so that they want more, right? It's like you've given them value in an ad. Wow, this is great. I can't imagine what, what's next after this would look like if this is just the ad and I'm learning something. So it's like understanding maybe, for example, more about how your product or service works. Maybe it's understanding what the marketplace looks like or understanding the trends in your industry. Credibility, right? That's showing things like testimonials, certifications, big companies or clients that you've worked with. The list can go on and on there. Action plan is kind of saying, what are we going to do next after this video, right? Like, is the step for you to talk with us? Is the step for you to buy a new product that's going to improve your business operations, right? There's a lot of different things we can do there. Teach is kind of playing into that understanding, right? If they don't understand what the problem or the difficulty that there is that they have and how to solve it, then we need to teach them at the end on, hey, this is the solution that we're offering, and this is exactly how this is going to help you with your difficulty or the problem that you're experiencing. And then the exit is really that strong call to action. And you need to be honestly just asking for whatever it is that you're looking to achieve at the end of the video. So, book now for a free consultation. Click the link below to sign up for our free checklist. Fill in the form to sign up for our upcoming webinar, right? Those are very, explicitly explained. This is what you need to do in order to obtain the value offer to, kind of move along that person from maybe just seeing who you are to now maybe they're wanting to learn more. You've grabbed their attention. So how are you going to kind of guide them now through your funnel? One last thing before I leave this slide, all of these images are things that we have used in 2020 to create videos. And I know that a lot of people with YouTube, I think most of the pain points that I hear from people getting into YouTube is, I don't have the time, I don't know how to do the ads, and I'm not a professional video editor or videographer, I don't have professional video equipment. I can tell you that probably 80% of the videos that we've made this year required no professional video equipment. I actually have an iPhone 10. I know not everyone has an iPhone 10. Funny enough, iPhone 12 is already out, right? But most people have smartphones by this stage in 2020. And my iPhone 10, which isn't even the newest iPhone model, shoots 4K content. And like I just said, 80% of our videos are literally being made from my phone. So I want you guys to take that away from this slide also, that you don't need to have, a professional videography company or video production company to make your videos. You can literally do everything on your phone. They shoot perfectly fine video. And the other thing that we found with that too is a lot of people consume videos on YouTube via their mobile phone anyways. So if 70% of YouTube users are consuming YouTube videos already on their phone, why not just shoot the videos to begin with on your phone so they're already formatted properly for kind of that mobile user experience? Some of these other tools, right? Google Slides, Google Docs, we use this for like if we're going to do slides in the presentation or if we're doing some video script writing. Both of these are free. vidIQ and TubeBuddy, those are some tools that we use on YouTube that actually help with kind of the keyword research and seeing what types of tags people are using or how other videos are ranking. These are both also free. They do have paid versions. Google Meet and Zoom, that's what we've been using for video conferencing. I'm not going to tell you which one is better than the other. I know that Network After Work, they've been using Zoom a lot for their webinars. An added benefit probably for that is you can do live streams. You can live stream to YouTube or Facebook directly from Zoom. This is also a really good way, let's say, if I needed to, let's say I'm working with like a lawyer, for example. I'm a lawyer, I'm trying to get new cases. And, the lawyer is not really, they're not really like video people, right? They don't want to be on camera. They're not as creative maybe. They want to be more professional, but they want something. I might just go to the law firm and just say, hey, law firm, can you have an attorney read this script that I've written for you? Just go on Zoom, record it on Zoom and send me the film, right? And then I can edit it and chop it up. And it doesn't require any, like all they need is a computer and Zoom for free. And most people have computers at this stage. So again, you don't have to go crazy video production there. Storyblocks is what we use for like video stock libraries. Very cost effective. I think we paid like $200 for the year. So you're talking like, roughly $10 to $20 per month where you have unlimited videos that you can use. If you don't have video footage, you can go take some of that stuff. That's another thing I would say. You don't have to be in the videos if you don't want to be. We're doing YouTube ads for people where there's not even a person in the video. It's just showing the product or service, showing the company logo, using some stock photo videos, maybe creating some slides. There's lots of different things that you can do. PicMonkey, we've been using this for some images. They have a free version, but also a paid version. Screencastify is what we do for screen recording. So I do a lot of like how-to tutorial videos and some of our ads or some of our videos. So I use this. This is also free. They have like a paid version. I think it's like $50 for the year. And then kind of these other tools here on the right, these would be kind of more of your paid stuff, right? So Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere Pro, these are professional video editing softwares. These are pretty much like industry standards for anyone that's in the movie making industry. And then we have used Fiverr for a lot of our voiceovers. Sometimes we get requests from clients where they're saying, hey, Benjamin, I don't feel comfortable with your team reading it, or we don't have somebody in our company that really wants to narrate the script of this video. Can we have a professional voiceover, right? And normally how that works is we are billed on the amount of words or the amount of minutes that the script is going to be. And I can give you an example that, we just did a video for the Colorado Chamber of Commerce here, which is like a local chamber, and we were doing something for the elections, and we were able to do it, get a voiceover for, $125 for like a 2 to 3 minute video. And we've even gotten voiceovers, for a minute to do video for $50, right? And there's plenty of professional voiceovers on Fiverr. So don't feel like, also, if you need a professional voiceover, that has to be a lot. You can just go to Fiverr. You might be able to even get a really good one for under $50 if you're lucky. So this kind of shows you some of the different video creation tools. And I wanted to just show you the logos and kind of go through this to show you it doesn't have to be hard, and it doesn't have to be a professional video production company to get results. You just need the basics, and there's plenty of free tools out there and creative ways that you can go about making your videos. So going back to kind of that structure, right? Just to kind of show this diagram again, right? This is the perfect YouTube ad structure that we've been using. At the beginning of this is the big problem in the hook. So the hook is what captures the attention. Then after we've kind of hooked them in, right, we're educating them, right? We've used the educate, or we've used the edutainment kind of acronyms, so those kind of explain. So that's where you're giving them value, right? You're saying, hey, here's a stat, here's something you didn't know, here's something about our product or service of, why it adds value. And then that strong call to action where they're actually going to take an action after that video, right? Every time you create a video ad, you want to think about what is the next step for the potential person watching this video after they will watch the video. So call to actions, I want to touch on that too. What is the right call to action? I know I saw that there is 500 people in this YouTube presentation today. So you're all in different industries, and not every funnel approach is going to work the same for every industry. So I kind of broke it down into like what you're selling. So let's say you're selling something for under $100. You could probably just take them directly to a sales page, right? Like, Amazon, if you're selling like a product there, they have a product page, you buy it, and you check out. If you're selling something that's maybe over $100, right? Something maybe like a training, or maybe you're selling a membership for the year or something like that, right? That's something where you want to kind of have a lead magnet, because maybe if somebody sees your ad, they're not going to want to buy a high ticket item over $100 the first time they see your ad, right? Maybe you need to give them a freebie, like a free checklist, a free course, a free consultation, right? So you kind of get them in the door, and then you can kind of sell your $100 to $990 service. If we're doing anything over 1,000, use different ways you can go about it. But I've done a lot of webinars this year, and webinars have really exploded. Funny enough, we're literally in a webinar right now as I'm giving this presentation. But what I'm kind of saying there is a webinar is a really good way. If you look at, pre-2020, right, a lot of networking was done in person. Network after work is a great example. I've been at networking groups where, I network and then I meet the person and I make a sale. But that took time, right? I had to go to a networking, an event maybe for an hour or two, and then there was a follow-up email, and then maybe I didn't even close them in that first network after work event. Maybe I had to go to 2 or 3 events to finally get a potential client. So a webinar funnel, you just kind of taking that, pre-2020 model of, networking and events, and now it's oh, come to our webinar, everybody's going to be there, and then there's kind of that follow-up networking experience after. Or you really have at that stage, if somebody's listened to you for an hour and you've really done something like this, right, where I've kind of gone deeper into what the services that maybe my company can offer, or leave you with some information that you got value from, you're that much more ready to buy in that moment because you've just spent an hour with me and taught me everything that I maybe didn't know, or learned more about you and your product or service. And really, I'm really hungry to maybe potentially buy something if something resonated with me at the end of that funnel. And then last thing I would say, anything over 3,000 is maybe just setting up a phone call or a webinar, right? I mean, not a lot of people in my experience are going to watch a YouTube ad and go pay for something over $3,000 from an ad. It's not saying that you can't, but just in my experience, this is kind of general rule of thumbs of, how I would go thinking about, different types of ways to run your funnel based upon what you're selling and how much that item costs to sell. So make it really simple, explain exactly what they need to do and how they'll get it from you at the end of your video. So the creation process, we showed a bunch of different tools, but when you think about creating your videos, I already gave you the script. Funny enough, this is a screenshot of one of the videos that we created that worked very well for webinar funnels this year. But it really comes down to three things after you got your video script in place, right? That's the development side, the research side of it. Then it's production, so you actually using your iPhone or your Zoom or your computer and filming something, or not filming anything. You can also use those video stock libraries, as I mentioned, like Storyblocks. And then actually the post-production, right? That's more of like the editing, uploading the video, exporting anything. And this can be very simple too. If you don't have a lot of crazy editing going on, you can just literally upload the video to YouTube too. You don't have to have all the professional video editing. So this is kind of the creation process that breaks that down. So I wanted to kind of show you all of that from our webinar funnel that we ran earlier this year and what that video ad exactly looked like.
Need your business to shine? We are so excited.
So see right there in the first 2 seconds, I've already got the hook, right? It was need your business to shine. Maybe your business is struggling in 2020. And then there was kind of like this, sound, animational kind of, shines coming out of my hands, right? That grabs your attention. So that first 5 seconds there, I hooked you in.
Need your business to shine? We are so excited to be sharing our social media marketing strategies to implement in this new normal. As the CEO of Global Social Media Marketing, I spent the last 10 years across 30 industries making mistakes, innovating new strategies in different languages, figuring out what business owners need and want, and researching the most efficient and cost-effective way to get social media ROI with the least amount of problems and least amount of time investment on your end. Did you know that 52% of retailers and 54% of restaurateurs are currently closed according to the National Bureau of Economic Research?
So see right there, I'm kind of in this video now, 40 seconds in, I'm kind of going into that, like I'm educating them, right? I gave them some stats. I'm letting them know like, hey, the marketplace is changing, the industry is changing. So those types of things, right? And then kind of on the final portion of this video, I won't play all of it, but it kind of goes into explaining what our webinar is going to be about. And so I kind of have like the strong call to action at the end here.
Before, based on proven results and data. From implementing Facebook events to Instagram ads and monetizing live stream video, we will cover topics that will connect you to customers for long-term success. All of these golden nuggets will be delivered through a convenient and easy-to-use Zoom webinar video conferencing platform that broadcasts live on Facebook and YouTube for you to replay later. We want to show you how you can take your existing sunshine and turn it into a business that can grow. This webinar will also build partnership collaboration opportunities with other business owners and teach you how to market your product or services to be purchased over social media for e-commerce. Come join us in this free
So now I'm kind of
webinar
showing them exactly how to take action after the video, right? Go to our landing page, fill out a form, submit your information, confirmation page.
Finally, we will have a free secret giveaway for all those who attend that you won't want to miss. So sign up below to register and we'll see you there.
Right, so that kind of the closing of that video is explaining again, what are the benefits of attending the webinar? How do you sign up for the webinar? And then I even kind of add an extra bonus there saying, hey, if you attend the webinar, you're going to get a free giveaway, right? So that's kind of your value offer. And so kind of looking at the results of this webinar ad that we ran, right? You can see I spent roughly a little over $500 and it generated us 50 webinar leads at a cost of a webinar lead of $11. And I was running this really just in the United States and Canada. So this was a really super relevant audience from us, and you can kind of see the exact video that I ran, just under 3 minutes, and it used all of those principles that I showed you with kind of that perfect YouTube ad structure. So now kind of like, now that we've kind of moved away from, how do you make a video? What's the process? How do the different funnels look? Is kind of then going into the campaign creation, right? What are all the different audiences? So I know that this slide is probably a little overwhelming, but I also did that on purpose to show you that there's so many different ways that you can run different audiences. You can do age, gender, location, the keywords that they're typing, right? And you've really got different types of shoppers, people that, hey, I'm interested, hey, I'm researching, or I'm ready to buy. And so you kind of need to understand where your audience is. And that's why you'll want to have, at least some different segments or things in order to test different types of ads. So I'm not going to go through all this, but you can kind of see all the different ways in which you can target different audiences with your YouTube ads. To kind of put this down into a funnel, I'm not going to go too heavy into this either, but it shows you these are the actual different types of audiences that you can run on YouTube. So similar audiences, custom affinity audiences, people that are actually ready to buy today. Maybe you have a list of customers and you've been doing YouTube ads. You can actually upload customer lists onto YouTube ads if you spend over 50,000 on YouTube and advertising. This just kind of shows you all the different approaches. And so I don't want to go into all the crazy different audiences because I know our time is coming up here at the end. And I really just want to show, to close the presentation with, these 4 audiences are what are working the best for us. So keywords, affinity, placements, and remarketing. And kind of looking at, what do those include, right? Keywords are things like your competitors, problems they're trying to solve, maybe niche keywords. Placements are, what videos or channels do you want your videos to be on, right? So again, that kind of old school television approach. And then trending videos, right? So this is an example of a keyword video that we ran. We actually released a video on how to do Google Hangout calls. We did our keyword research, and you can see that we were able to generate quite a bit of views around March. It was kind of when video conferencing was exploding. And we paid roughly around $800 to get over 100,000 views. And this was an example, $916 to get roughly 108,000 views and 960 subs. So that was like, I don't really know how many platforms are going to give us that type of reach. So I won't play this video for you because it's definitely a longer video. But then placement campaigns, right? So what is placement campaigns? You can literally place your video ads on other YouTube channels or videos, right? So if I have a competitor or a YouTube channel that I already know has the audience that I want, I can literally go put my ads on their videos before people even watch their videos. That's super powerful. Affinity audiences is it allows me to target by websites. Have they visited a certain website? Do they have certain interests? Are they using specific apps? I can literally target all of that and tell YouTube, hey, maybe I'm targeting people for leadership development or people that are trying to do personal development. Here's some different examples of building a very customized audience with all this data that Google has collected for you to be able to run YouTube ads. To kind of close the presentation with, I wanted to show you an example of an e-commerce client for all the people that are out there with products. So you can sell products there. This is literally an example of a client that we ran. Just in a month, we were able to generate them $25,000 in revenue running those in-stream ad examples. So you can do that for products as well. And this is kind of that exact kind of e-commerce sales funnel page. So very kind of similar as I showed you to that other sales funnel. The only big difference, right, is you might have a checkout page if you're doing a product, and you might have something to kind of generate leads before you sell them the product, or a low-hanging product, right, if you have a big ticket type of item. If you're looking to do webinar sales funnel, this is pretty much the exact process we used. It's a YouTube video and then using your Google Ads to turn that into an ad and drive them to a landing page. Once they go to a landing page, they're filling out a form and they're going into a CRM or to an email, and then you're hopefully scheduling a call with them via Zoom, Google Meet, or phone, and then maybe collecting a payment via PayPal. So this is the exact webinar funnel process that we've used. This is an example of a landing page that we use for our webinar, that video that I just showed you, right? So setting up a landing page, right? Pretty simple. It's got, you know, the actual YouTube ad, maybe some benefits, a nice shiny button to claim whatever that value offer is, and kind of speaking to those pain points. This is an example of what a form fill or a checkout page would look like. So nothing too crazy here, right? If we're doing a form fill, make it very simple, 5 things. If you're doing you know, a product or you're selling something right there, you can do it something like this. Page 3 is your confirmation. So that's where you can do like a scheduling of a call, or, you know, thanks for buying our product, or something like that. And so that kind of shows you all the things in the funnel. And then this is kind of the final last thing, is just, if you do have a landing page, make sure that you do have, you know, your privacy policy enabled, and you've got your cookie notifications. If that's over your head, don't worry about it. Most developers do, but those are just some best practices if you're doing something on a website. Final thing I would say, if you get any leads, try to do some email sequences. I just gave you some example screenshots here of some different types of email ideas. But once you get a lead, right, don't just expect necessarily to close the sale immediately. You do need to kind of nurture those leads, and you can put them in the email campaigns hopefully after. Finally, the last thing would be remarketing. So anybody that's watched your videos or for whatever reason didn't convert, then you can obviously do testimonials or case studies or something like that. So I'm coming up here at the end of the presentation, and I have one final video to show you. If you want more help on growing your YouTube channel, I did write a book, as Natalie mentioned, an ebook. It's called How to Become a YouTuber. I've got this link. I'm sure Natalie will be happy to share that with you guys. And then if all of this was like, Benjamin, this was so much, I really need help. I made this video for today's presentation to get a strategy call as an ad that we will actually be running after this presentation, and I'll close on that note.
Days are getting darker. But our YouTube department wants to be the guiding light that helps you through this new normal. We've created game-changer YouTube video ads in 2020 for a variety of small businesses to help them shine. Book a YouTube strategy call with me, Benjamin Kepler, CEO of Global Social Media Marketing, to learn how to get sales with YouTube ads. Working with our YouTube experts and proven systems, you too can sparkle with qualified leads for less than $10 per lead that are searching to buy your product or service on the #2 search engine in the world. YouTube ads are a cost-effective solution in your marketing budget to reach new customers with search intent and better connect with them through videos that drive emotional storytelling. How does an extra $25,000 in revenue for your business per month sound with our proven YouTube marketing services? We're getting results like these with our current clients. What? If you're not sure where to start with YouTube to grow, click the link below to book a call to learn how to write a YouTube ad video script framework and doing your initial keyword research, and then receive our YouTube marketing course for free of 32 YouTube tutorial videos that I've created in the last 2 years on all the strategies and tactics we've tested to grow YouTube channels across the world.
We know that some businesses need hope and bottom line results now to adapt to different and emerging buyer behaviors this year. We can get your YouTube videos free views on your top competitors' websites and YouTube channels. Also, did you know that Google Video Ads only charges you when someone clicks on your ad, meaning that you could get free video views with your target audience with Google Video Instant Ads.
In 2020, we've created a YouTube ebook, YouTube marketing course, and 20 blog articles on how to quickly teach you ways to get new customers for free.
Or if you want a customized approach to YouTube to grow your business, let us do it for you. Reap the benefits of working with our CEO and YouTube department. They have over 10 years of experience driving targeted traffic to websites via billions of searches on the #2 search engine in the world, YouTube.
A great time to take advantage of YouTube advertising with less competition to grow your business. Work with a Google for Education certified trainer who spent the last 2 years earning 34 digital marketing certifications. Schedule a call to make your rain Benjamins. Seriously, our CEO's name is Benjamin, and he's all about getting the Benjamins you need to make bank.
I mean, look around. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere.
We live and breathe YouTube. So let us help you and let global be the light at the end of your tunnel.
All right, so that is the ending of my presentation. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it and got value. If you do want to book a YouTube strategy call with me, I'm going to leave the link here. You will get our free course of all of our training videos. And then if you want to connect with me, you can definitely check out our YouTube channel and my email and our website. So I know Natalie said we're running tight on time, so if we've got time for maybe a couple questions, I'd love to answer a few.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Benjamin. We can squeeze in one quick question before our next speaker. So we received a lot of this question, but where can we see? Oh, wait. The question moved because there's a lot of questions coming in. But aside from running ads, if you don't have a large budget, what would you suggest to do?
Yeah, if you're not going to run ads, then I would focus still on doing your keyword research and creating organic YouTube videos that are related to the keywords that you find people are searching for. At least that way, there's a chance that people might find your videos.